Hello everyone, so this video is a technical guidance about the Anna developer ecosystem. So before I start, I want to show you some of the assets that you can leverage. So first, in the Anna's official website, we have a full documentation hub. So if you check out this overview, there is a GitHub link. So if you click it, you can see some of the examples about Anna app, and you can just basically clone all of these Git examples into your local files for your agent to read. We also have a full documentation in which we define all the terms like tool, skill, and app, and we also introduce the Anna CLI here, which you can use to push the app and distribute it. We also have a full reference hub in which all the host APIs are listed out, and you can check them out. Okay, and now I'm gonna move on to the most interesting part. What do I actually build? So here is the core idea. An Anna app is not just asking you to learn something that's completely new. It's much more exciting than that. Because your web app just got an AI runtime. So you still build the interface. You still decide which workflow, decide your product taste, the interaction, and the experience. But instead of building model keys, agent infrastructure, storage, tool routing, and publishing them from scratch, you can now borrow all of them from Anna. And this is why this matters for Hackathon. Because a static frontend can now become an AI native app. So before I go fast, let me define some terms so nobody gets lost. The first one is an app. So this is the installable experience user can open or mention on Anna. It can include your AI, a manifest, an optional capability. And for most hackathon projects, you can think of it as your front end plus manifest. So let me show you quickly. This is Anna dashboard, and here is the app that we can use. They do have front end. And second, we have host. So the host is the AI runtime around your app. It owns the model access, agent sessions, storage, windows, and permissions. Your app is not alone. It is running inside this AI runtime. And third, we have Executa. Executa is an optional shippable capability. It could be an executable tool plugin or a declarative skill playbook. So you do not need it for every project. But when you want to add a new capability to Anna, this is the extension path. So hold these three words in your mind. Anna app is the experience, host is the AI runtime, Executa is the optional capability you can ship into the runtime. And the rest will be much easier for you to understand. And now, what does the host actually give your app? So think of it as 5 superpowers. The first one is LLM. Your app can now ask the user's enabled model to read, write, summarize, expand, or generate content. And secondly, we have agent, which is one level higher. So instead of one model call, you can now open a multi-turn run that reasons and keep context and can call tools. And third, we have storage. You can save user taste, app memory, drafts, preferences, and generated results without setting up your own backend on day one. And fourthly, we have tools. So when your AI needs deterministic action, it can call bundled Executa tools directly. And lastly, we have chat. So your app can write useful results back into the Anna conversation and open windows from the chat flow. And the interesting question right now is no longer what framework do I have to learn? It now becomes what would you build if your front end already had all of this underneath it? So now let us make the mental model even more concrete. These are the 3 pieces on the screen. So the first one is the app, which is just a static front end. And everything like React, Vue, TypeScript, anything that ships HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is where your product thinking lives. And secondly, we have the Anna host. So the host owns the hard platform parts, like model access, quotas, storage, windows, install tools, and the agent loop. You do not rebuild that in your Hackathon project. Thirdly, we have this SDK bridge. Your apps runs in a sandbox iframe, so it stays isolated, right? And the SDK wraps the bridge to the host. So from your code, it feels like normal async functions, such as like the await one that I showed on the presentation, and also that's the await Anna complete. We also have await Anna storage set, await Anna session, Anna agent session. And finally, the manifest is the permission contract, which says, like, this is my app, these are my views, these are the host APIs I need, and these are the Executa data bundle. So if you do not declare a capability, the runtime will refuse to call, which is not bureaucracy, which is more like what lets the user to install apps safely. And this slide is the first match moment. So if you look at the code on the left, the app connects to the runtime, calls Anna.complete, right? And sends a user message and renders the result. And this is the moment a static page stops being only a static page. And the important part is that what you not see in this code. First, there's no key. The model provider stays on the host side. And then there's no backend, which means your iframe talks to the host through a scoped app token. And we also do not have model operations on the left, like selection, quota, billing, and the provider details. All of them stay inside Anna. But the product is still yours. Like the UI is yours, UX is yours, the workflow, the taste, and the domain insight, they're all yours. Which means Anna gives you leverage. You still decide what to do with it. And this page is a very practical point. Most Hackathon apps, because we only have 7 days, it can start front-end only. So if you can use, for example, React if you are fast in React, or try Vue or like TypeScript if that's faster. The runtime does not care as long as your package, as long as you package a static bundle. And definitely start with host APIs before you add more infrastructure. For example, if you need a single intelligent response, you can try the LM.complete. If you need a reasoning loop, which can keep context and call tools, you can try use agent session. And if you need safe state, you can try the storage or the files. Like that, those are for user preference, memory, or generated artifacts. And the default path is simple. Build the screen, connect the host APIs, and make the workflow feel good. Only add more machinery when your idea truly needs it. There's no need to overbuild. So another question some of you might be wonder is that when do we need Executa? Definitely use Executa when you're adding some capabilities that Anna does not already give you through the host API. So the first case is native or heavy work. Maybe you need, for example, Python ML libraries, local file, or image processing, long-running compute, or logic which needs to stay resident. And that belongs outside the browser sandbox. The second case is when you want to create a tool for Anna itself. Not just your AI calling a function, but the AI agent being able to decide, like, I should call this tool right now. And the third case is distribution. So you package the executable, declare it in the app manifest, and Anna starts it only when the user has installed or granted. So the rule of thumb is quite simple. If host APIs already cover the job, you can stay front end. If you're adding a new capability to Anna, use Executa. Now, here's the part that makes tool building feel different from normal API building. Tool calling is basically AI UX, so the model does not read your source code. It does not magically know what your function is for. It sees a tool name, a natural language description, and a parameter schema. That is the interface you design for the AI. And the flow is basically 4 moves. So firstly, your Executa returns describe, which has tool names, descriptions, and schemas. And second, Anna gives those definitions to the model as available actions. And thirdly, while reasoning, the model matches the user's intent against the tool description and emits a structured tool call. And fourthly, the host routes that call to invoke, gets the result, and feed it back to the model so that I can continue. So do not treat the tool description as a boring docstring. It is product copy for the model. It should say when to use the tool, what it is good at, and what inputs it needs. That is how you teach the agent to use what you build. Another concept is skill. So skill is quite different because like a tool adds actions while skills add judgment. So you can think of SKILL.md Markdown as a playbook for Anna. Definitely use a skill when you want to teach a repeatable workflow, such as how to research, how to compare, how to review, and etc. And you can also use a skill when you want to give Anna a persona or domain taste, like how an analyst should inspect a situation or how a reviewer should judge quality. You can also use a skill as a companion to the tools. So the tool does the action, and the skill tells Anna when and how that action should be used. This is why like apps become powerful, because an app can package UI, tools, and skills into one installable experience, which is super easy for the users to use. And just remember that tools add actions, skills add judgment, and Anna apps turn both of them into something user can actually live inside. So when you sit down to build, you basically have 3 approaches. The first one is UI plus host API. So this is the best first hackathon pass. It's quite simple. Build a polished app window which calls LLM, agent, storage, and chat. And you can get surprisingly far with only a static bundle and a manifest. The second approach is UI plus Executa. So definitely choose this when your idea needs, for example, Python, native libraries, local capabilities, or deterministic custom actions that the browser cannot provide. The third way is UI plus skill. This one is quite light, so choose it when your secret sauce is not a binary, but a workflow, a method, or a new way of thinking. In this approach, you basically are teaching Anna a playbook. And definitely, like the point is not to choose the most complicated approach. The point is to choose the smallest one that make your idea feel magical. And here is just an example of how you can build a loop realistically. So in the first step, maybe like the first 30 minutes, try to shape the UI. Our advice is that do not start with infrastructure. Start with the screen usable touch, like inputs, outputs, empty states, loading states, and the one moment that make this demo worth watching. And then around the 1 hour mark, you can connect the host APIs. Add things like LM, Anna's agent, or Anna storage. So if the mock mode is enough, use it first and get the flow working before you worry about the real model. And then third step, you can add the leverage. So only at this moment, you can ask, do I really need an Executa? Or do I need a skill? Is there a custom action or a reusable playbook, which would make this idea more stronger? And finally, you can package and submit. Validate the manifest, bundle the SPA, and tell the story clearly, like what can Anna do now that it could not do before. And this is the demo. So you can start with building the interface and then move on to borrow the intelligence. And do not spend the night like rebuilding infrastructure that Anna already gives you. Definitely spend time making the workflow making the workflow feel more inevitable. And this last slide is the full cheat sheet. So you already saw the 3-word version that I showed you at the beginning. So this is the version to definitely take a screenshot. And let's take a quick going through. The app is the installation experience. Basically, the static UI manifests optional executors and skills. Host APIs are the runtime capabilities provided by Anna to the iframe, including like LM, storage, tool, chat, window. Again, like all of them, you can just check out this reference page and see the details here. We also have manifest, which is the permission contract. The bridge is the sandbox iframe talking to the host through the SDK. And Executa is the umbrella for the shippable capabilities, Executa tool plugins, and the declarative skills. And a tool executor is a long-running JSON RPC process that exposes callable tools through describe and handles invoke. A skill is a playbook, and agent session is a multi-turn run that can reason, stream, frames, call tools, and keep context. And the bundle finally is the packaged static SPA you validate and submit. So if you remember only one thing, try to remember this like you're not submitting a web page, you're actually giving Anna a new service, a new workflow, and sometimes even a new capability. Build something Anna should have been able to do all along. All right, so this is the technical part, and let's get back to like what you can build. So before we talk about what you can build, let me show you the apps that we built before. So in order to test the platform's capabilities and potentials, we do build a few apps by ourselves. So if you check out the unofficial website, we have 3 apps here. Go to the App Store. They are the app used to generate PowerPoint, app to analyze inbox, emails, and also one gaming app, which is Anna Avalon. And in order to use them, it's quite simple. For example, in the App Store, just install them, and we go to the installed apps and give them the permissions. For example, here for the Avalon, we need to click this permission and give all of these capabilities permissions so that the app can function normally. And Avalon is actually a gaming app which is built entirely using Anna's platform's APIs. So because of that, it's extremely lightweight and does not rely on the heavy backend. And in terms of the infrastructure, like the architecture, both these inbox and PPT consist of front-end UI layer and backend Executa. And this PowerPoint, if we click the permission here, it primarily leverages Anna's agent session, which you can think of as the agent that inherits Anna's tool list and maintains its own memory. As for the email part, it actually leverages the credentials capability of Anna. So for users that want to use this app, they should go to the authorization, give the authorization here, and then the email can just read the Gmail contents. So let's take a look. So this is Avalon app. Basically, they are like good guys, bad guys who play this board game, and the core point is about social deduction. Like people talk to each other and then deceive each other to help the team win. And as you can see, like we have multiple AI players who basically have their own memories, little gaming strategies, so that like they talk to the human player and then act, this whole time. So this is the gaming app, and I speed up a little bit so that we can just have a understanding of how it looks like. And we also have this this PowerPoint app, in which users can just tell the app its needs, and then the app will generate the PowerPoint on the Anna. As you can see, it generates the outline first, and then let's speed up a little bit. This is the PowerPoint that it made. We can also download this file to our local environment and then edit the PowerPoint. We also have the inbox app in which it will just analyze all the mails of this user and then give some advice, like give emails different prioritizations. For highly prioritized ones, it will just draft some replies and then send the emails out on the user's behalf. So these are the apps that we built. Definitely do not worry if your hackathon idea is similar to one of ours. There's no worry at all, because our judging criteria won't penalize or drop points for overlapping with us. In fact, if your idea is similar to ours, we'd love to see your unique take on these workflows. And lastly, let's take a look at what you can build. These are just some brainstorming ideas that we put up together. Definitely think out of the box, or if your idea is different from all of them, that's totally okay too. So as you can see, the possibilities are huge. For example, you can do apps about work and productivity, like planning, tasking, meeting, or project decisions and so on. We also encourage you to do something that's relative to research or knowledge. And for the third bucket, you can do creative and interactive apps such as storytelling, gaming, video designing, and so on. And finally, for the life and personal part, definitely try something like travel habits, like AI friends, AI personal assistant, AI pets, everything that's on your mind should be good to go. Definitely think out of the box and surprise us. So that's all for for today. And one last thing to remember is that if you have questions, definitely go to our official forum, in which there is the developer channel. Feel free to post any of the questions here so that we can take a look, see the details, and we will answer in time, normally within 1 or 2 days. That's because we may be in different time zone. So if we're in the same time zone, the answers will be showing up within 1 or 2 hours. Okay, great. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and enjoy this hackathon.